New York Giants Sports Talk and Entertainment. Went a little old school today. Why? Because I don't have the soundboard. I'm on vacation. I want to talk about the New York Giants potentially selling the minority stake within this 100-year-old franchise. Want to talk about the bridge quarterback. It's a bridge over MetLife. All these quarterbacks suck. It's weird because when you think of the Giants, the name is synonymous with the Maras. And back in the day when they sold the percentage to the Tisch family, you know, it was kind of shocking because certain teams like the Bears, you think of the name Halas. The Giants, you think of the name Mara. You know, and now the Giants are exploring, not saying they're doing it, they're exploring selling 10% of the organization. Now, the Mara Tisch families will retain control of the organization. This is going to be they're calling it a minority, non-controlling stake in the New York Giants. The Maras, they've owned the team since the inception of the Giants. So I mean, you harken back to 1991, you know, where they split it with the Tisch family. Well, they didn't split it; they sold half to the Tisch family. But it's always been the New York Football Giants owned by the Maras. Now, there's only a couple teams that have completed minority sales of their franchise. And some of them are like the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. So this is kind of weird. It's kind of a weird situation. You got to take a look at it. And you got to like I said, I don't know what the thought process is on this. It's not like it matters to me. Because I think they started to do this because I canceled my season tickets. Oh, you know what? They said, Online Big Blue canceled the season tickets, sell 10% of the team. See, I wish I had the drum roll. I don't have my soundboard, so I don't have any sound effects. It's annoying to me. But that's just what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not going to affect free agency. It's not going to affect the draft. It's not going to affect the fact that Joe Schoen's still a fucking idiot. It's not going to affect any of that. All it's going to do is put more money in the pocket of Mara and Tisch. So maybe one of them's having financial difficulties. I don't know. Normally, when you're having some financial problems, what do? You sell some assets. It is what it is. Let's talk about the New York Giants and the quarterback. The bridge quarterback. I keep seeing we're going to get Matthew Stafford. We're getting Aaron Rodgers. We're getting Sam Darnold. No. Listen, I know we have been in quarterback purgatory for 6 years now. And it's just disgusting to have a storied franchise that has, you know, Charlie Conley, Y.A. Tittle, Phil Simms, Eli Manning, have to rely on the likes of Daniel Jones for 6 years, and it just didn't work out. And I love the smugness of Joe Schoen. You know, it just didn't work out with Daniel, but we had a 2-year out on the contract. No, moron, you didn't. You still owe him $22.5 million this year on the salary cap and dead cap number, and you still don't have a quarterback. So it didn't work out. It wasn't just a 2-year deal. I said it before. The moment he signed that deal, he was going to set the team back 5 years. But now there is rumors and speculation that the Giants could potentially make a mistake by going for an over-the-hill bridge quarterback. The first name that was thrown about recently is Matthew Stafford. I still refer to him as the Detroit Lion. There's already talk out of the great states of Los Angeles or wherever the hell they are now. I like the LA Rams. I used to like that name, Los Angeles Rams. But there's talk and speculation that, you know, the Giants want to trade for him. And I love it because people talk about Matthew Stafford as a Hall of Fame quarterback. And then he finally got his Super Bowl win. Okay, but they also failed to talk about his career record is 108, 113, and 1. That's below 500. You can't be a Hall of Famer. Especially with almost 188 interceptions and only 377 touchdowns. How the hell can you be a Hall of Famer? Not looking at you, Hall of Fame committee. But Matthew Stafford gets in before Eli Manning, then the Hall of Fame is a total joke. But there's talk that the Rams want the Giants' first-round pick for Matthew Stafford. That's ludicrous. And even ludicrous thinks it's ludicrous. Because of the fact that, what is he, 497 years old? He's 37 years old. He's not a mobile guy. You're not looking at a guy that's gonna have this mobility, that's gonna move around the pocket. If you take a look at him, I think he's been durable since that 2022 season. He played 15 games, 16 games in 16 games last year. But he's just a guy though that you put him behind this offensive line, he's gonna get wrecked. He's going to get destroyed. He doesn't have we've talked about it before. He doesn't have the pocket presence. He does have the pocket presence, but he doesn't have the pocket mobility or fluidity anymore because he's old. And to me, it reeks Craig Morton. We're not going to talk about the Craig Morton trade where we gave up the second overall pick for Craig Morton. And then that second pick turned out to be the Hall of Famer, Randy White. And then, of course, Craig Morton, after a few uneventful years here, leaves and goes to Denver and takes them to the Super Bowl against, wait for it, the Dallas Cowboys, because that's just a giant way. Saquon Barkley, we let him walk. He goes down the street on 95, wins a Super Bowl the next year. We're not talking, when you talk Matthew Stafford, we're not talking the guy from 2011. Threw 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. We're not talking 2023. We threw for 4,800 plus yards, 41 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. We're talking more like you're probably going to get a mix between 2024 and more like 2024 and then a mix of and then a mix of 2020. That's probably what you're going to get with Matthew Stafford. Is he going to move the win on the needle? Is he going to move the needle? I can't talk, man. I'm tired. Vacations are great, and especially not when they're like a work vacation, but vacations are great. But not when it's a work vacation. I want to give a big shout out to Lorenzo and his loving bride who just got married the other day. Sorry, we could not attend. Work vacations suck. They really do. It was an Ocean Drive night last night, so my head's not 100% there yet. But you're not getting this guy. He's going to move the needle on the win total. Yes, we're going to go from maybe a 3-win team to a 5-win team, a 6-win team, and then that's if he makes it through the season. I don't think he's going to make it through the season. At 38 years old, he may not make it through training camp because he was not what I would call the best conditioned athlete. And there's no way in hell this organization should even consider giving up first round. You shouldn't even get it. I mean, if you gave up like a third rounder and maybe a fifth in another year, I'd be happy with that. But this move and the next move, if you did it, would reek of desperation. The other move that would reek of desperation is going after Aaron Rodgers. You watched the downfall of Aaron Rodgers. You've seen what age does to a quarterback, especially someone that's taken as many snaps as Aaron Rodgers. You just kind of reach a point where you just don't have it anymore. Now, again, a 497-year-old Aaron Rodgers is a hell of a lot better than anyone we got on this roster, and he's going to be a free agent, but he's 41 years old. You want to talk about a guy that you would have to be concerned in reference to injuries? This is Aaron Rodgers. I mean, what's funny? I guess 2023. If I remember correctly, the Jets won. This is how stupid the win-loss record is for quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, who took a few snaps in that game in 2023, only threw one pass, is credited with a win because he started the game. Think about that. Out of his 153 wins, one of them, which is that win, he got because he threw one pass, and I think it took like 5 snaps. That's how stupid the win-loss record is for quarterbacks. It's not like a pitcher stat where you have to go X amount of innings to qualify for the win. Evidently, he took a snap, blew out his Achilles, and got a win. Sorry, it's in my brain to push number 41. That's what she said. But I can't. I just can't. you're probably going to, unless he's going to take a team-friendly deal at like $8 to $12 million, you have no guarantee that this quarterback and Aaron Rodgers would even remotely make it out of training camp or survive the first half of the season. In his 5-12 season with the Jets last year, he looked slow. He looked indecisive at times. I know he likes to blame his wide receivers, but they kept going out and getting him weapons. Have we ever heard that before? Lethal weapon? Martin Riggs. When have we heard that before? Sometimes it just doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, you got to move on. So, yeah, would he be better than anyone we had? That's great. But like I said before, sometimes garbage is not better than trash. And I'm not calling Aaron Rodgers trash. I'm just saying at 41 years old, he's not the guy that he was during his MVP seasons. He's not the guy he was in 2016, or hell, he's not the guy that was in 2020. He's not him. And again, it would be a mistake to bring a guy in. And then you hear about Sam Darnold. If the Giants bring in Sam Darnold, then they've never learned their lesson on anything. They really haven't. And then I love the fact that people are still like, well, we'll go out and get Kirk Cousins. Well, right now, I still think he's on the roster in Atlanta. And Kirk Cousins is another guy. Good name quarterback like 8 years ago. There's no way Kirk Cousins is any... We saw the diminished skill set of Kirk Cousins in Atlanta last year. We saw it on full display firsthand when he got benched during the middle of a playoffs for Michael Penix. We saw it. And you're going to tell me, well, Tim, he still completed 16% of his passes, 66% of his passes for 3,000 yards. He also led the league in interceptions to 16. He has not been good, or really good, since 2021, 2022. So he's three. Again, it's going to be the Walla Walla Waller thing. He'll be 3 years removed from being good. But for some unknown godly reason, we think he's going to be a good fit for the Giants at 37 years old. Go back and look in history from when the Rams traded for Joe Willie Namath. I'll wait for you guys to Google it. And then this is normally that is the dichotomy of what happens when you trade for or bring in an older quarterback and expect them to be the guy that they were when they were 27 years old. It's just, I mean, yeah, these are great big name guys. These are going to sell. These names will sell a couple jerseys before the season starts. But what's going to happen when they get under center and they face the Philadelphia Eagles defense or face Dallas and Parsons or face the Commanders? Or if you look at that home schedule that we have, what's going to happen to them then? Sometimes the bridge cannot be built. Did you ever notice they never built a bridge over the Grand Canyon? Because sometimes it can't be built. Maybe sometimes it's just best to start anew. And to start anew, like I said, is try to hopefully, cross our fingers, get a quarterback in the draft. But for you to go out and get a name, and this is something I think I'm fearful the Giants are going to do. You go out and get a name, and that name doesn't produce, great. You paid for a name, and you're probably not going to get anything in return. Or you pay for the name, and you go from 3 wins to 6 wins, and you still don't have an opportunity the following year to get a quarterback. That's like I just laugh when everyone's now in love with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. Well, we could have Russell Wilson last year for $1 million. So now we want to bring in Russell Wilson a year older, and he looked older in that playoff game and towards the end of the season. He looked older. And then I love Giants fans who hated Justin Fields are now like, oh, we need Justin Fields. Well, you just hated him. You just hated him when he came out of the draft. You hated him when he was with the Bears. You hated him with the Steelers. But now he's the answer for the Giants bridge quarterback. Oh, there's just too much going on here in Giant Lands, guys. You know what? I'll be back on Sunday. Not back on the mic, but I'll be back in town on Sunday. We'll do a live stream on Monday. We'll talk about the quarterback situation. We'll talk about the Giants sale. We'll talk about everything else coming up for the draft. I'm tired. I need a break. I need to go lay down. But like I said, it's half past mojito. And as always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. Love you guys all.